Yo, what is going on, my Chicago bros? Today we are back with another YouTube video. We got another pro analysis, and for today, drumroll please, Team Vitality. As we are getting closer to the major, this video should release the week of the major. We are going to be looking at more teams that are probably more likely to compete for the trophy. So, of course, what other team is better than the previous world champs, Team Vitality, Zen, Alpha, and Radisson? And I want to look at the game where they're most in form. So that was the recent Open Qualifier 3. They lost to KC in the grand finals, spoiler alert. But I, of course, who doesn't lose to KC at this point? But I want to watch them when they're playing at their best form and when they win. And this is the semifinals against Moist Esports. We'll just jump straight into it. Of course, we're going to watch Zen. Apologies for Radisson's name. I don't know why it's so long. But yeah, we're just going to have to deal with it. But as you guys know, as I always say, I am not a part of these teams, so whatever I say is just my opinion. This is me giving my pro insight on what's going on throughout the game. But of course, I could be wrong because every team's different. Every team has their own, obviously, ideas of how to play the game. But this is just my general take to help you guys maybe understand some ball a little bit. But here we go. We have the semifinals versus Moist. Moist, obviously, a very solo-heavy team. With Joyo, Oli, and Rezi. They like to do a lot of air dribbles, so you're going to have really good challenges, really good 50s, just like this. Zen, good 50 for his teammate to follow up. Unfortunately, Moist does a better job of getting out of it. And here Alpha with a good challenge to swing the momentum. And right off rip, we'll go back. Right off rip, this is like Vitality's #1 strength, is this kid right here. This demon right here, Zen. Obviously, he reads Rezi's hit. This isn't like the most impressive thing, but every time Zen gets the ball, he does something very threatening to your team. And with players like Alpha, as we can see real quick, we'll just go to his POV, who looks for a demo. As soon as he knows Zen has the ball, he feels free to go roam the field and look for a demo, which he does right here on Oli. But what I was saying is when Zen has the ball, he creates so much pressure on a defense by getting absurd touches and really clinical touches that force the defense to kind of like clench up and, you know, play a lot safer and a lot less risky. So right here, he gets some really good touches that forces Joyo to kind of reset. And obviously, nothing really turns out, but that's one thing you will notice when you play Vitality is a lot of it is Zen creating plays with his just absurd skill. Okay, let's go back a little bit. So Alpha 54 so far set some really good challenges on some solo plays out of Moist. It's a really good cutoff. Rezi is pretty late to jump for this. Again, Alpha with another challenge. Alpha is definitely the first man of this team, I would say. He likes to get his head in there and get stuck. And this really isn't nothing too major except for just a good read by Radisson, a beat, and just put on net. No one in net for Moist. But that was just all kind of Alpha with some really good challenges, and Radisson's able to put it back in the net. Again, Zen's just going to stay mid. As you can see, he has all this open space mid, so there's no real reason for him to, you know, go directly behind Alpha or get too close to the net, because then he's limiting all the space he could occupy. But if he chills right here, then he's got this entire box to work with. Whether it's a good pass or not, he'll have a better vision since he's farther behind the ball on whether to, you know, go for it or not, depending on what the defender's doing. So, exactly. Since he stays far enough back, he sees Oli and Rezi would clearly beat him to it. So he plays patient and just lets them kind of clear the ball because the ball's on their goal line. They're going to panic clear it. And he gives it right to Radisson. Boom, you have more offense. Unfortunately for Vitality, Radisson kind of just gives the ball away, so they're back on defense. But the idea was there. Again, we see little good 1-2. Joyo honestly really screws up his dribble. He's got to be getting a beat there. A flick over Zen is the least he needs to be doing. So as soon as he screws this up, Radisson being downfield gets a nice pop. And now here we go. Zen goes to work. He's going to not do much because the ball's just moving too slow. But he's going to get a threatening shot on net, and Vitality almost scores by forcing it in. A little reset out of Vitality, then goes all the way back. Again, their challenges on Moist moving out of defense have been game-changing, and what allows for this, you know, more possession than Moist is having, and just overall more chances. Again, really good defense, staying spread out, finding the open space. on that pass over to Alpha. Zen's going to take his time. He has a lot of it. No point in rushing. He's got Alpha stuck in their net. Radisson's behind him. So the best thing here to do is reset and try and stall some time. Let everyone on his team regroup, grab some boost. So he's going to take it up the wall slowly. He's got all the time. And now the last thing he wants to do is get dunked and leave himself out of the play. So he realizes his touch is going to get dunked right here. So it's kind of hard. He has 40 boosts. He can't really commit for a full field air dribble, right? Or else it's just way too risky if he gets dunked. So he knows he's most likely going to not get a successful challenge of this. So instead of just banking on it, he gives the ball up and says, hey, you can dunk me, but I'll take the boost in the ball. I'll play it safer, you know, waste some more time, stall, and then we'll get out eventually later. Stalls enough time. Alpha 54 is back. And just like that, they're kind of just chilling on defense. One thing Zen does really well, I'm going to go back to it and just have y'all notice it throughout whenever you watch him play. A lot of the good players do this too. They don't waste boost when it comes to defense. Whenever they don't have to, they're not going to boost. So right here, this entire time, there's no point in Zen boosting around the field. He's got two teammates in front of him. Him boosting would just be kind of him throwing himself out of the play. So again, he gets this touch, not the greatest, if we're being honest. But again, not wasting boost. There's no reason for him to. And finally, when it's his turn to go, he'll use his boost. He'll try and get a touch out of it. But whenever he's coming back to defense, or just in defense in general, he does a really good job of managing his boost. So whenever it does become time for him to go, or if there's an offensive threat, a counterattack threat, he'll be there with the amount of boost needed. Really good challenge by Zen. Reads the play well. Does need boost, so he's probably going to go back, grab some pads. Wants to stay in the play, though, but unfortunately nothing really pans out for Vitality. He's really struggling for boost. Again, he's not going to panic. He's not going to just go for a ball. So he wants to get this back boost, right? It's not there. So the last thing you want to do when you don't have boost is just panic and him immediately go challenge Rezi, front flip, leave himself out of the play with no boost, and it's going to take him even longer to recover. So instead, he kind of just stays calm, lets Rezi make his play, gets the boost, and now is back perfectly in the defensive rotation with full boost, like nothing happened, and would have been there if there was a shot on net. Again, not wasting any boost here until he has to. Needs to make a cutoff. Well done. The one thing I do see that Vitality is kind of lacking when I saw them in the World Championship is their follow-ups. A lot of these clears that they're making on these really good challenges, they don't really have anyone to follow up on. Kind of like this as well. This obviously isn't the greatest clear by Zen. He had a really tough read. But when I saw them playing really well, they were always ready for the next play. So whether it was a cutoff on defense, midfield, they were having someone ready for the next play. So here, Zen has not the most boost and a really tough read, but a really good infield pass by Rezi and a really good play shot by Joyo. That's just Moist doing a perfect job of clinically capitalizing on a Vitality screw up. Right? But the one thing I do see that is, I guess, a little bit concerning is kind of just the lack of aggression out of Vitality. It might be a new play style. I doubt it, but it's maybe just the way they feel they need to play now. But they rarely have so far what seems like have that guy ready for the next dunk, like believing in their teammate that he's going to win that challenge and be ready to make a winning play. A little bit lucky there, can't lie. Again, Zen not wasting his boost at all. He's going to wait for the proper time to challenge. Okay, so Vitality actually honestly isn't looking that great this game so far. But the idea here is Zen has 24 boosts. He can't see anybody behind him, so he's therefore the first man, in my opinion. Since he has low boost, he has to wait for Joyo to get to a threatening enough spot where he can jump, where he tries to force the high shot for his teammate, but he also can't jump too early and just be a pointless guy floating through the air that has no bonus for his teammates, no help for his teammates. So he tries to wait as long as possible to block any kind of shot that would be on net. It does go over, and Radisson just gets an insane dunk, which is pretty lucky for Vitality. A little bit greedy if you're Moist. But yeah, so Moist tries to double kick off, and we'll go to Radisson POV. Actually, let's do Alpha. So really good kickoff by Zen. He's going to take his time, notice his space. He's got Joy on the left wall, Oli in the corner, and he knows that Rezi's over somewhere to his right. So Rezi then commits, obviously with communication. Radisson says he's right, asking for the pass. And then this entire now middle is free. So Oli's kind of got to watch the shot. And Radisson gets a really weird pre-flip shot that Oli kind of just probably should make the save, but he just own goals. It's unfortunate, but really well done by Vitality to recognize the space and try and make a play out of it. And just kind of, you know, as I would say, test the keeper. Let's go back to Zen to finish this off. Again, clearly beat to this ball. He's going to read it super early, fake it for his teammate, save his boost on defense. You know, just the basics. He's not going to overcommit. He's not doing anything too risky. Now he's just playing with his food. They're toying with him, and that is going to be the game. All right, and we are back with the second game. I decided that first one, honestly, wasn't the greatest showcase of Vitality, so I wanted to bring y'all the grand final. They did lose this series, but they also did play really well, in my opinion. This is them versus KC in the grand finals, Open Qualifier 3 on Zen POV. This is the two Titans of EU, probably a lot of people would say, along with BDS. So let's see if we can notice any differences from the Moist series compared to this one. Right off the rip, you can just tell there's like a different intensity in these lobbies. There's a different speed. A different respect level, so it's gonna be a lot more locked in. Can't screw up. If you screw up against either of these teams, they're probably gonna punish you. And right off the rip, I believe we have Alpha 54 doing the dirty work. The tier kind of just air dribbling in no man's land. Alpha does a really good job to get a beat, and then uses the rest of the space he has to get a bump on the last man, and boom, open net for Vitality. So again, a lot of Vitality success, what I've noticed is like they've had a lot of success getting on their challenges / getting out of defense. Now it's about like capitalizing on those opportunities, whether it's a bump from Alpha, a good passing play mid, a good solo play. A lot of their success is going to come down to that kind of, just success out of them. Okay, right off the rip. Honestly, KC does a really good job of winning the kickoff. Radisson with two amazing saves, stays on the post. Now something that's pretty cool is a lot of people, I don't think in the lower ranks know this, but I mean this is kind of rare in the pro scene. If you stay on the post, he honestly, if you're Rise, you can't even see Radisson, especially if his name tag is normal and not this super long one. He can't even see Radisson, so he thinks he has a free shot. Radisson might not have recovered properly. But since Radisson is on the post, he gets a free flip and can get absurd power, hides on the post, and then has a flip and gets really good power out of defense, which turns into a 1v1 for Zen. And if you're Vitality, you're going to be happy anytime you have Zen in a 1v1, I mean, right? Matira, so many options, and Zen just cooks. So super well done out of Vitality. Again, clinical defense turned into really well executed offense. My point stands. Like, they've been executing really well on their challenges, which then lead to offense. Like right here, this becomes almost a super threatening opportunity. If Alpha gets that bump, it's game changing, right? It's just the tiniest things. But now, since he does it, now we got to show it Tal's POV. Just an absurd double, to be honest. Like a perfect skim, Radisson can't reach. You just have to tip your cap sometimes and say fair play. Like that's just gross. So it's not even anything like, I would say Vitality played that well. Tao just found the one sliver that he needed to score. Again, another really good rough play by Alpha. Created a little bit of panic on the KC side in defense, but they do a good job to get out. Zen kind of booming the ball away. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but his angle was kind of tough. He didn't have a lot of choices. And maybe they feel confident on defense, so they just like to reset. Okay, now you guys are probably not going to believe me when I say this, but Zen knows how beat he is. I mean, just look at Vatiri. It's already off the ground. Zen's still in net. So right here, Zen's obviously his goal is not to play the ball. His goal is to play the shot if Vatiri decides to just straight shoot. Or what he's actually probably trying to do is trying to read Vatiri's car flight path. Now that sounds insane, but you can easily judge this just with practice at the highest level. But he's trying to get his car because he knows Vatiri wants to go for a double. So he's going to do the smart thing and get a bump on his car, which then completely nullifies Vatira's double opportunity, and their offensive push is over just like that. Again, here we go. Zen obviously doesn't keep the ball as close as he would like, but these challenges are just so elite. Like Atao, one of the most threatening players on the ball on offense, immediately nullifies him by dunking him straight clean and forces kind of KC to reset their offense, allows his team to get boost, reset their rotations, just with a very critical challenge like that. Again, a good dodge on Atao's bump that was coming around the backboard. But KC still has all the pressure. Zen is giving the ball a lot, but he's not overcommitting and making any bad decisions after it. So it's not the greatest, but it's definitely not the worst. Getting at the back boost, reset, play Vatira's touch. A little bit of a scary hit, I can't lie. Again, KC's pressure is just so unreal. You can tell they're just on another level when it comes to their offensive gameplay. So one thing I think we can all definitely agree on just by watching these couple of games is Zen is definitely the third man who's trying to be a lot more patient, wait for the moments to come to him, and not just go seek and ball chase and find a potential goal. He's kind of just letting his teammates do their thing, and if they ever need him, he's right there, and he's a pretty good guy to have. You can see he's probably been on his side of the field 75% of the game. I could say that with confidence. And he's super far back, like he's in their corners, because he really doesn't want to overcommit. Good challenge once again. Allows for Vitality to escape. But now, wow, a really good high hit ball. So again, what we said is Zen has been doing a really, really good job of stalling for his team. So Atao hits it to him. Radisson's going to go upfield, and Alpha's getting bumped. So this is obviously all communicated. So because of this, Zen kind of just floats a ball as high as possible and says, you know what, Radisson, if you can do something, go for it. And obviously Rise has to respect Radisson's shot here. I mean, any player doesn't would be insane. And because of it, it kind of just leads to a terrible goal. But it's just kind of really good defense by Vitality that turned into, I guess you'd call it maybe like a Radisson goal, where he just kind of fakes the opponents. And, that's a tilter for sure. 55 seconds now. If you're Vitality, you're definitely talking about how we just need to keep the lead. Don't play too aggressive, or don't play too defensive. Stay aggressive, but also be smart on what you're doing with the rock, right? Don't just throw the ball away for free. Try and get good challenges. Honestly, I would say don't do exactly what Zen did right here. Zen challenges, but there's no one really too ready, right? Alpha's rotating back. He gets the mid boost. I guess he is ready for a challenge, but Zen not playing ball is like super crucial. If he plays ball, then it just turns into a 50 and stalls another like 5 to 10 seconds on KC's side. But since he doesn't play ball, it allows Atao a free kind of attack straight into their side. But of course, Vitality's challenges have been super good, so it's not really too threatening. And again, they're just playing super patient on defense. Not really the same aggro team that's in your face as I remember from Worlds, but they're still very clinical, still very smart, very threatening. But yeah, they're just kind of, letting the other team do their thing and not really, they're trying to win off of not making their own mistakes. So they're not letting themselves beat them, if that makes sense. And yeah, that was a long video, but I hope you all enjoyed a little bit of insight into Vitality and how they're looking into this upcoming major. If you guys want to leave a comment on what teams I should do next, that'd be greatly appreciated. It helps us out a lot. Also, like and subscribe. It would mean a lot. I'm trying to get the YouTube channel up and going. So yeah, let's do this thing. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.